The following is a presentation of Puska Media Services. Welcome to Puska on Pucks Radio, an inside look at the game of hockey from professional to junior level to the leagues overseas. We have the coolest game on ice covered. Now, here is your host, Dennis J. Puska.
You are listening to Puska on Pucks Radio. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Dennis J. Puska. Well, friends, we do our best each and every week to bring you the very latest on the game of hockey. Professional, junior, technology, even great books that we'll talk about momentarily. But also, friends, we invite you to check out our sister program. It's This Week in the IFL, for your exclusive look at the Indoor Football League. From weekly recaps, insightful interviews with players and coaches. It's all at This Week in the IFL. Check out our past episodes and our current ones too at OurSportsCentral.com under the OSC Radio link section. You can also go to thisweekintheifl.podomatic.com as well as GoIFL.com, the official online home for America's premier indoor football league, and of course at our website at PuskaMediaServices.com. Click on This Week in the IFL tab, and the media player is at the top of the page. 42 years ago, 1972 was the year of hockey's first epic series between two major countries, Canada and Russia. It's that series that really began all the other major competitions of its kind and started a rivalry that is still going on even stronger today. The 1972 Summit Series featured Canada and the USSR. Canada had National Hockey League players, the best of them. 8 games, 4 in Canada, 4 in Russia. Terrific stars of the game and the coming out party of one goaltender. Do you remember his name? Vyacheslav Tretiak, who went on to the world stage, and the rest after the series, as they say, is history. There were some amazing moments, from Phil Esposito to a stick-swinging incident involving Jean-Paul Parise, the father of Minnesota Wild forward and team captain, and also captain of the American team, Zach Parise. It came down to Game 8 in Russia, and a goal that was heard across the country and the nation of Canada. It is among the biggest goals not only in Canadian hockey history, but in the sport of hockey as a whole. Let's take a listen to this.
Here's a shot. Henderson made a wild stab for spell. Here's another shot. Right by the score. Henderson has scored for Canada.
2 years ago, the 72 series celebrated 40 years. In 3 years, there's going to be the 45th anniversary, and in 8 years will mark the 50th anniversary. Richard Bendell, a Canadian from Ontario, Canada, has wrote a book looking at the complete stat breakdown and inequities that took place in the series. Not only did you have a language barrier between Canada and the Soviet Union, but remember, there was no online scoring, so you had to do the handwriting and even the officials making sure they made the right calls. We had a chance to speak with Richard Bendell, the author of 1972, the Summit Series, Canada versus the USSR, Stats, Lies, and Videotape, the untold story of hockey series of the century. In part 1, we will talk about the background of the book and putting it all together. For more, here is Richard Bendell on Puska on Pucks Radio.
It's a great day.
Definitely is a great day, Richard. So give us a sense, a little bit about your a little bit about why the book and how you came up with it.
Well, it all goes back to the original DVD set, which was released in 2002, and I received that for Christmas from my wife as a gift. And I had seen the series in a 25th anniversary special broadcast on TV, but it wasn't quite the same as having the DVD in your hand, being able to watch it in the best quality, being able to watch it at your leisure, pause it, rewind it, slow motion it, all that kind of thing. I certainly wasn't thinking of it in that way when I put the first disc in for Game 1 in Montreal. But basically, what happened is finally having the DVD set in hand for the 30th anniversary, I picked out one of my old books, Death of a Legend, and for some reason I had an inkling to check the statistics for the game, the player stats, who got the goals and assists, and I wanted to just compare the original stats with the games themselves. And in doing so, it was the beginning of a long journey I never expected, which was that the stats were filled with numerical errors, historical errors. If we look at stats as being a reflection of what happened, the original historical published stats were very much off the mark, and that's where it all began. Once I realized from the very first goal that people were getting the wrong players are getting the wrong assists, some players are missing out on points they should have got, then I started very quickly to realize that what I had hoped, which was to verify things, was actually a whole new objective, which was to discover, quote-unquote, what the real truth was.
Well, it's pretty amazing stuff when you think about going through all those stats. Now, your background is what, accounting? Is that why you've always dealt with numbers? So is that why you kind of fell in love with finding numbers? Talk about the analogy and why the numbers for you.
Well, I guess it's I'd always had an interest in hockey statistics in particular. Even as a kid, I would pore over the game summaries and see who scored and the attendance figures. It was just a personal interest of mine, and I guess it's not surprising that I'd end up going that route when I went to university. And then when I had finished that, I actually got it into what was called the CMA program, Certified Management Accounting Program. And I became a CMA back in 1992. Just as a side note, there's 3 different accounting groups in Canada, and they are merging. They're in the process of merging. So as of April 1st, I'm now a chartered professional accountant as well. We all kind of merged and are recognized as that. So it's a kind of a side note. So yes, accounting was, I guess, in my blood, and it was a natural fit for me to, when I saw what was happening and realized stats were maybe in need of revision enhancement, that I was well suited for the role, I guess. Maybe I was picked in a way to reveal what I had discovered and share it with people.
So how hard was it to research the stats and get it right? You basically had to pore over all 8 games, didn't you?
I did, and it was easy and extremely challenging and delicate in different ways. Some were extremely obvious, so blatantly wrong that when you watched the play and then you heard the announcement for the goals and assists, you were questioned right then and there, not what needed, not what the right scoring was, but how in the world they missed it, how in the world they got it wrong in the first place, because it seemed so clear. For myself, there were 63 goals in the series in the 8 games. So revisiting the games meant revisiting each and every scoring play. And it's not like you can push a button and go right to them. Obviously you have to kind of scan through and find them. So I think that was probably the biggest part of it, is the time-consuming process of going to the plays, checking them, documenting them, building up kind of the stockpile of information, and then going back and double checking them, even triple checking them. The hardest ones, I bet you I looked at them at least 20 or 30 times, and even called upon good friends who are also knowledgeable hockey people to review them for me and say, what do you think? And we're limited by the technology itself. The DVDs, the footage from back then is not high def by any means, but I think I was surprisingly able to find out what was correct. I'm hoping the accuracy rate, if it was roughly 60% before, I'm hoping we're in the 98% range now, which is as correct as we'll probably ever be.
You are listening to Richard Bendell, the author of the book called 1972, The Summit Series, Canada versus Russia, Stats, Lies, and Videotapes, the Untold Story of Hockey Series of the Century. We're going to pause for a quick break. When we come back, more of my conversation. You are listening to this special edition of Puska on Pucks Radio. Back with much more in a moment. Pamper yourself at Sassafras Salon, located at 2730 South Georgia in Amarillo. For the month of January, get $10 off any color service, $5 off any haircut, $25 pedicures, and $25 shellac gel 2 manicures. Thursday is Senior Day at Sassafras Salon. 55 and older, get $5 off any service. Be sure to like our Facebook page at Sassafras Salon. That's Sassafras Salon, located at 2730 South Georgia, or call them at 382-2647 and tell them that Puska on Pucks sent you. Global Synthetic Ice provides hockey players, teams, and fans a chance to practice ice skating, ice hockey, and enjoy the sport year-round without the need of real ice. The Super Glide Ultra product is designed specifically with the homeowner in mind. 4x4 panels easily interlock for indoor or outdoor use. The simple design of panels make a one-person installation a snap. Shipping is easy. No oversized shipping problems. The pallet can be dropped off at the front door. Super Glide Ultra also has no electricity, minimal maintenance, and the life expectancy of 20 years or more. For further information on Global Synthetic Ice and Super Glide Ultra, visit globalsyntheticice.com or call 727-224-0490. Global Synthetic Ice, proud partners of Puska on Pucks Radio. Well, as I mentioned off the top of our show here and off the top of our segment on this book, for Canadians it was the goal maybe heard across the country. And in 1972, it was one of those games and one of those series that transcended everything, that really started back then what would be the rivalry among Canada-Russia, and what I guess you could say down the road became the United States and Russia. So much made about that series back then. Many of the players, some of them still around. They just celebrated, of course, 42 years this year is the anniversary of the series. We're happy to have Richard Bendell, who is the author of the 1972 The Summit Series, Canada versus USSR, Stats, Lies, and Videotape, the Untold Story of Hockey Series of the Century. And he joins us from Ontario, Canada, in this edition of the program. And as I look at the book, and one of the big things that people have to remember, it is USSR back in those days, so it's that's how unique and very challenging this was for everybody. Richard, this book's been out for a little bit. You've done a little bit of an update on it as well, but you've had a chance to meet some of the 1972 hockey players. Talk about that experience right there.
I guess the most, the highlight so far has been the chance to meet with Mr. Henderson, Paul Henderson, in July of 2013. I had contact info for him, and I'd done a small update on the book, basically enhancements, fixed a couple of things, and I wanted to get him a copy, a personal copy. And when I contacted him, he actually invited me to come over to his home, and that was during a family get-together they were having that weekend. And he said it was perfectly fine, that he would be happy if I could stop by. So I got to meet some of his daughters, his grandkids, and him himself, and to actually be able to sign a book and give it to him. And he enjoyed it. He said he learned stuff in there that he didn't even know about. So that's kind of you can't, those are the things you don't know that they'll necessarily work out. But you're so happy that at the end of it, people are pleased with all the hard work that went into it and what you could share with it.
Well, Richard, let's give our fans an opportunity to find out more about where to get a copy of the book. Give us some information if our fans are interested in how to get a copy of this book.
Yes, definitely. On Amazon, various Amazon online retailers around the world. If anyone's interested, they can go and search 1972, the Summit Series. Untold Story is kind of the short version I'm using, and they'll see a front cover that has a big red maple leaf and the yellow hammer and sickle from the old Soviet Union, USSR, and then they can take a look at the book. It's competitively priced. Amazon is great for, they print to order and they ship out very quickly, so people can find it there. It's also available at other online retailers. I kind of suggest Amazon because often you can, I think with the $35 purchase, so if you buy another item or two, you can get free shipping, which is nice. So then you can get the book and maybe a few other things you might need. So that's the main source for it. The publisher itself is a division of Amazon called CreateSpace, and people can also search for it and find it directly at the CreateSpace website. And those are the primary ones. And then people local to me make it available for me to be able to sell it directly. So those are the three main routes.
Wonderful. Richard, it's been a pleasure catching up with you again and giving some homage to this book and this great series. We appreciate your time on our program. Thank you for what you do, and all the best of luck in getting this book out, and I'm sure there's going to be even more reaction to fans getting a chance to know more about this series.
Thank you so much, Dennis, and I appreciate the chance to share it with people, and always look forward to talking with you.
That is Richard Bendell, the author of 1972, The Summit Series, Canada versus the USSR, Stats, Lies, and Videotape, the Untold Story of Hockey Series of the Century. You can find out more. He is on Facebook at facebook.com/72series. He is also on Twitter at twitter.com/72seriesbendell. That is all one word. We're going to stop for a quick timeout, friends. When we come back, some final closing comments, and we'll send you on your way. You are listening to Puska on Pucks Radio on CBS Sports Radio 1440 in Amarillo, Texas.